So this is from Mass Benny. Says I've driven two different 406 with EW10 engine from Abuja to Makurdi, and notice the temperature gauge never goes beyond 70 degrees Celsius. Mine, which is SU10, always gets to 90 degrees and stops there. I had known 90 degrees to be normal in 504 and 505, which my dad had, but after my experience with the EW10 engines, I began to worry if something was wrong with my SU10 engine. But I guess this puts my mind to rest. Thank you. So does this mean EW10 engine operates differently? Is there a problem with the two I have encountered? So you said the ones you've driven from Abuja to Makurdi, which is I think 200 and something kilometers, if I'm not mistaken. That's a long 200 and something kilometer long distance drive or high speed drive. It's a kind of journey. It's a journey anyway. Your SU10, are you sure it's supposed to stop at 90 degrees Celsius? Yeah, in motion it might drop to 90, but when the engine starts, when the car is stationary, it's supposed to exceed 90 degrees Celsius for SU10. Unless, especially if it's D8 anyway. Okay, it's not necessarily just the engine, the temperature gauge itself, like the D8, yeah. If the thermostat is there and the factory fan is still factory connected and is on coolant, when you are driving inside the city with high ambient temperature, or the weather is very sunny, yeah, expect the temperature to go above 90 degrees Celsius. If you are driving slowly, especially without AC, yeah, it will go above. But when you gain speed, yeah, it will drop. The thermostat opening temperature for SU10J4R and the SU7J4R. At least I know SU10J4R. The opening temperature, I think, is 83 degrees Celsius. The thermostat, 83, if I'm not mistaken. Either 82, between 81 to 83, but I think it's 83 degrees Celsius. That's the factory opening temperature. Now to the EW10J4. You say you're driving two for a long journey and none of them exceeded 70 degrees Celsius. Did you check the condition of the engine cooling system? That brings the same question about your AC10. Because like I said, if your engine cooling system is factory, it's meant to exceed 90 degrees Celsius at some point in the journey. Unless when you reduce your that's once you reduce speed at some point, yeah, it will go above 90. But on higher speed, it will drop again. So that means most likely you don't know how to detect a Peugeot car with an abused engine cooling system, because if you would have known that both cars you say you drove with EW10J4 engine or EW10J4 engine, that both cars have their engine cooling system abused. Either the fan has been removed, after the thermostat has been removed, or the fan wiring connection, the electric fan wiring connection has been abused by bypassing it to spin constantly with the ignition on or engine running, or that they've changed the head gasket and put two head gasket, those pepper two head gasket. Some even use metal one, make it two. The more you stack head gasket on your in between this is cylinder head and the engine block, the lower the coolant temperature or your water temperature. That's the truth. Once you put more than one head gasket for whatever reason, which could be maybe your head gasket, say engine cylinder head is faulty, it has some issues, so one gasket can no longer serve. In that case, you decide to go. Some put three. Even sometimes it's not necessary because there's an issue. They just, just to feel comfortable that the car will never overheat. And yes, once you put the two head gasket, the only thing will make it overheat is something severe. If not, like I said, if you put more than one head gasket, two, three, and whatever, your cooling system will drop much lower. It will be hard to get up to the optimal temperature. Very hard, if at all it will ever do that. Unless maybe like turbocharged engines and do that, but naturally aspirated engines with more than one cylinder head gasket, I doubt. It will always engine will always run lower at lower temperature. But that doesn't necessarily mean it will stay at blue zone, but if it's supposed to stay at 90 after some kilometer drive, it will stay probably 80 or 75 degrees Celsius. Then if you increase speed, it will drop lower. That's how it is. So yes, to your question, does this mean the EW10 engine operate differently, or is there a problem with the two I have encountered? Yeah, there's a problem. It should be obvious to you, but I can understand. Since you don't know much about the EW10J4 engine, so yes, yeah, the design of 406 with that engine is once it warms up, it stays at night. If you like driving from here to, I don't know, 10 hours long distance drive, 1,000 kilometer journey, it doesn't matter. Once the engine is running, it stays at night until it switches off, cools down again. Of course, there are cases where, for let's assume, um, the weather is like 20 degrees Celsius or below 20 degrees Celsius, and you know, you set out on, you are on expressway speeding. It might be hard for you to get to 90 degrees Celsius at that time, because the breeze entering is the engine bay passing through the radiator is even overcooling the system more than that electric fan will do. So in that case, it will keep the engine at much lower temperature, but just at a normal ambient temperature or outside temperature uh, of the vehicle. Yeah, it stays at 90 till you switch up to. Once you start the car, it runs for like few minutes. It stays at 90. As long as your cooling system is factory as designed, it stays at 90 till you switch it off. So far EW10J4 is concerned in a 406, it stays at 90. If you like speed 200 kilometers per hour, it stays at 90. Doesn't mean that is the actual temperature. Now, they have had cases where about two 406 that I know had a software issue for some reasons. Start the vehicle at cold start, it start working. The temperature gauge will come on, get to 90 or close to, as it's about to get to 90, the fan will come up. It will trigger the fan as usual. But the problem that the fan will keep spinning, it will go off. We just keep spinning, 30 minutes, it's still running, though at lower speed. The fan will keep going down. The temperature gauge will just keep dropping from 80, 85 degrees, so you just keep going down. The fan will keep running. So I don't know. That one I know is a software issue because engine issue is just reacting. I don't know. So which is still an issue anyway. It's not like it's factory. So another 406 did the same thing, and one was Nigerian assemble, one was foreign assemble. So anyway, so there are basically issues. So they are not normal to drop below 70 or stay at 70 degrees Celsius in a journey. Not normal. A normal temperature, ambient temperature. Okay. So how this makes sense? Like I said, you may also need to check your um, forces with your SU10J4 engine. Like I said, it's expected to exceed 90 degrees Celsius. As far as I'm concerned, or the only place I would say, okay, maybe I could be wrong, is if it's D9. Then if it's D9, it will operate like EW10. Yeah, the temperature gauge is the same with EW10, so it will behave that way. It's only if it's D8, then the temperature gauge is not supposed to stay at 90. Okay, so anybody that have any question, please post it on the any of my videos or post on my YouTube channel. And if you want to do one-on-one talk or via YouTube, yeah, we can set up video call, we'll discuss, and other people will watch us and you know learn from us. Okay, so like the video, subscribe to the channel for notification as soon as videos like this are published, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video, guys.